Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. Hopefully this one will be closer than the last night's game. We can only hope. Last night's game was a little bit out there, um, but you're going to have games like those. There's nothing you can do about it. It, you know, dice fall a certain way, and you get bad pitching matchup. Things like that can happen. So we're at the Big A in Anaheim. Hello, Ben, and hello, Utah Mike. We're at the Big A in Anaheim, Detroit Tigers and the California Angels. Pitching matchup, two veterans, Dan Petry of the Tigers and Don Sutton of the Angels. Angels enter the game 9-12, Detroit 8-11. This is game number 142 of the replay. It's another game from April the 29th. Ballpark effects in Anaheim. Singles 1-5 for both lefties and righties. Home runs are 1-12. Pitcher-catcher quotients for California, it's -1 as Don Sutton's a +1, but Miller's a -2 for a net -1. Petry's a +3, Noakes is a +1, so we get a +4 out of Petry. Sutton's wild pitch rating, 7, balks a 0 for Petry. Wild pitch is a 12, balk is a 3. Pass ball rating for Miller's a 6, pass ball rating for Noakes is a 3. We got Sheridan, Bean, Whitaker, Trammell, Evans, Herndon, Noakes, Bergman, and Brookins for the Tigers. For the Angels, Downing, Joyner, White, Howell, DeCinces, Miller, Schofield, Pettis, and McLemore. All right, so hello, Ron. Good to see you. So we'll go to the Strat-O-Matic computer and get these up-to-the-minute stats for Don Sutton. He is 1-2, a .556 earned run average. 23 innings pitched, 24 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Sutton finishing up the warm-up tosses. And leading things off will be right fielder Pat Sheridan. Sheridan on the replay is hitting .246. 1 home run, which was his only run batted in. This down just a hair. Okay. I think that's going to turn out better, hopefully. Okay. We will get this game underway. Warm-up tosses are over. Got our dice close to the Angels colors as I could get without having any blue for the Tigers. I wanted everything Angels. So there we go. So Sheridan steps in against Don Sutton. We're underway. 3-7. That's a strikeout. So Sheridan with the whiff as Sutton picks up the K to start the ball game. Can't start much better than that if you are a pitcher. Here's Billy Bean, and in limited duty and 11 at-bats, he's hitting .364, so doing quite well. But again, only 11 at-bats, so take that with a grain of salt, so to speak. 6-2, ground ball shortstop X, that is Schofield. He's a 2E12. 2 and a 14, he'll get to that. E12 as a shortstop. E12, he has to avoid 15, 3, and 18. Those are the only 3 numbers that'll get him. 3, 15, and 18. Doesn't have that, so that's going to be a good play for Schofield. Throws out Bean. 2 up and 2 down, and that's going to send us to Lou Whitaker. Second baseman. Whitaker is hitting .268, 4 homers, 13 driven in. 6-9 against the left-hander Sutton. 1's a double. Anything else will be a single. That is a 1, so it's a double for sweet Lou Whitaker. Borderline Hall of Famer. Some say he should be in there. In fact, many say he should be in there. And to me, if Alan Trammell's in there, then Lou Whitaker ought to be in there too. To me, they're 2 peas in a pod. Put this way, they're much lesser talented people in the Hall than Lou Whitaker, that's for sure. All right, here's Alan Trammell. Hitting .435 at bats. He was injured there for a little while, but he's back. He's hitting .400. 3 homers and 8 driven in. First havoc roll of the game. Nothing happening. Here's Trammell. That's a 3-6, and that's a 1-7 single. That's a 20, though, so it'll be a line out to short. Snagged by Schofield, and the Tigers come away empty-handed after the 2-out double. So we go to the bottom of the first. It is Detroit nothing and the Angels coming to bat. And on the mound for the Tigers will be Mr. Dan Petry. Petry on the replay is 1-1, ERA of 2.86, 28 innings pitched, 16 hits, 13 walks, and 19 strikeouts. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. Hello, Prague. Good to see you guys on this Thursday night. Brian Downing leads off. He's hitting .360, really off to a good start. 7 home runs and 21 driven in. 6-9, and that's going to be a strikeout for Dan Petry. So Petry starts the game the same way Sutton did with a strikeout. And that'll bring up Wally Joyner. Joyner is hitting .325. 6 homers, 14 driven in. It's a 5-3. It's a fly ball right field X. That's Sheridan. He's a 2 with an E9. 2 and a 7, I think, is going to be quite okay for an outfielder. 2 and a 7 is an F2, which is certainly good enough. Sheridan's an E9, so he's got to avoid this row of numbers here. E9, 16, 11, 3, and 18. So 3, 11, 16, and 18. Those are the 4 numbers he has to avoid. And he does. So it's good play for Sheridan. And quickly 2 away. So Joyner is retired, and that brings up Devon White, right fielder. White on the replay is hitting .253, a homer and 7 driven in. 6-10, switch hitter batting left is a ground ball third base X. That is Brookins. He's a 3 E21. 3 and a 10, he'll get to it. And we'll see about the E21. 3 and 10 is a G2, which is good enough. E21 for a third baseman. He's got to avoid 6, 11, 16, 15, and 18. And that's a 6. Did we say he could avoid a 6 or not? Let's see. E21, was there the 6 there? Yes, it was. There's a 6 right here. And there's the 6 right there on the E21. So that's a 1 base error on Brookins. E5. Tom Brookins. Should have been the end of the inning, but it was not. And that's going to put a very fast Devon White on the base pass, looking to get the lead to steal. And Petry and Noakes combined are a +4, so that's going to make it even more tempting. 3-6, he gets the lead. He does. So he will go. It's an 18, being held as a 16, but the +4 makes it a 20. So basically 19 is the only way that he gets thrown out. 20 is the only way he gets thrown out. And he's in there with stolen base, so that was pretty easy there. And for Devon White, let's look at his numbers on his stolen base category. That's the second stolen base of the season for Devon White. So he's in scoring position with 2 outs. Clutch situation now for Jack Howell, left fielder. And in the clutch, Jack Howell loses a single on 2-7. That's his only clutch result. Just has to avoid a 2-7 for sure. That's a 3-4. He does that, but it's a ground ball to short. Boy, 3-5 would have been juicy, but 3-4 is a ground ball to short. Trammell takes care of it, and that takes care of the Angels as well. So nothing doing. We go to the second inning, and we are tied zip to zip. Hello, Hardwood, and hey, Joseph. Good to see you. Don Sutton back out, facing Evans, Herndon, and Noakes for the Tigers. And Evans is struggling early on, a .194, 3 homers, 7 driven in. That's a 4-4, and that's a catcher X. That will be Miller. He's a 4E13. We're still a couple of weeks away from Bob Boone joining the team. So Miller is your catcher right now. 4 and a 17 for a catcher. 4 and a 17 is a pop out. So we're going to check for an error. He is an E13. That's pretty high. So we got all these errors right here. 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. So 3, 4, 6, or 15 through 18. That's a 7. Boy, he just barely missed it. So it's a nice play by Miller. As that foul pop had some backspin on it and kind of wasn't sure where it was going to come down, but he was able to make the play, and there's one away. Here's Larry Herndon. Herndon in limited duty, only 28 at bats so far. Sitting 321, a homer and 3 driven in. It's a 5-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. That is McLemore. He's a 2E22. A lot of X chances in this game. 210, he'll get it with no problems. 2 and a 10 is a G1. Second baseman, E22, he's got to avoid 12, 18, and 17. Just those 3 numbers. That's all he has to avoid. And notice I don't do like the other channel and leave a bunch of dice in the tray. I like a clean tray when I roll. Not like that other channel. That's a 9. It's good play. So good play. No problem whatsoever for McLemore. 2 down. And that will send up Matt Noakes, the catcher. Noakes on the replay is hitting 218, 7 home runs, 16 driven in. 5-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. Well, that's a good place to hit it because Pettis is a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're checking the E10. Center fielder E10 is all they've got to worry about. And again, another X check. We're getting a whole lot of X chances. Center fielder E10, we're looking at 3, 4, 14, 16, and 18. So 3, 4, which doesn't usually come up very much. 14, 16, and 18 are the ones you got to really 14 and 16 are the 2 to worry about. And that's an 8 easy play for Devon White. And down goes the Tigers in the second. Go to the bottom of the second. Still no score from the Big A. Petry back out, and he'll be facing Doug DeSensei, Darryl Miller, and Dick Schofield for the Halos. Oh, Alex, we're talking about RJL. It's an RJL network. It's just an inside joke between the two of us. We are good friends, and we respect each other's channels. We just like to have a little humor between us. It's all inside joke, and it's all in good fun. There is no mean spirit there whatsoever. All right, so here is DeSensei, and DeSensei is hitting 238, which is pretty good because in the real world, in 453 at-bats, he hit 234, so he's almost right on the number there. In 63 at-bats, he's hitting 238, 4 homers, 8 driven in. 4-8, and that's going to be a double right there, 1 to 16. That's a 2, so DeSensei will hit a leadoff double off of Dan Petry. That 4-8 result did it for a double. And that'll bring up Darryl Miller, the catcher. And Havoc, nothing going on. Miller is hitting 240 in 25 at-bats, which is pretty good because in 108 at-bats, he hit 241 on the season. So right on the money there, too, as well. No homers, 3 driven in. 1-8, and that's a fly ball center field. That's 1 away. 1 down, and that will take us to Dick Schofield, the shortstop. Schofield hitting a .197, no homers, 8 driven in. Definitely underperforming to this point, early on as it is. That's a 5-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. 2 down. And that will bring up Gary Pettis, speedster Gary Pettis, in a clutch situation, no less. He is hitting 347. He's doing much better in real world where he hit 208. 347, no homers, 11 driven in, but it is a clutch situation. He will lose a hit on 3-4 and 310, as well as 2-6 and 112. So definitely anti-clutch for Mr. Pettis. 5-5, switch hitter batting left is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So 2 up, 2 down in the innings, and nothing's going on. We go to the third, no score. All right, Dave Bergman is your leadoff man. He's hitting 259. No homers, 3 driven in. 5-7, and that's a ground ball. I'm sorry, 5-7 is a strikeout. I was looking at 4-7 there originally, but 5-7 is a strikeout. So Sutton gets his second strikeout of the game. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Tom Brookins, third baseman. Brookins is hitting 306, a homer and 4 driven in. 3-5, and that's a ground ball to short. Schofield takes care of it. 2 up, 2 down. We're back to Pat Sheridan. Sheridan struck out his first chance to lead off the ball game. Looking to do a little bit more this time around. 6-5, and he might. 1-14's an in-home run chance. That's an 8. He's got normal power. I would say he did something better than his first at bat. Look at it again. 6-5, left-handed. In-home run chance, 1-14. That's an 8, and he has normal power. Pat Sheridan, his second home run of the season. It's also his second run batted in. So his only 2 runs batted in have come off his own home runs. Second home run of the season for Sheridan, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead off of Sutton, who looks a little chagrined. He thought he would get out of the inning 1-2-3, and it didn't happen. So here's Billy Beane. 2-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Sutton gets the strikeout to end the inning, but not before Sheridan gets the home run to give the Tigers a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third. And Dan Petry has been handed that lead. Both starting pitchers have fatigue of 5. So can't forget about that, because once we get to the 5th inning, you got to start looking at fatigue. All right, Mark McLemore will lead it off. McLemore hitting 229, 2 homers, 13 driven in. 6-9, switch hitter is a strikeout. And that is strikeout number 3 for Petry. Back to the top of the order for Downing. He struck out his first time. 1-6, and this is a 1 for a triple, but he's going to end up flying to left field, where it is taken in by Herndon, 2 down. And that'll bring up Wally Absorbine Joyner. He flew to right his first chance. 4-10, and that is a fly ball to right again. So he didn't learn his first time around. He hit it to Sheridan again, and Sheridan puts it away to end the inning. So 3 innings are in the books. It is the Tigers 1 and the Angels nothing. Tigers going to be looking to extend the lead. They're going to have Sweet Lou Whitaker, who doubled his first chance. He's up there, ready to see what he can do. Mr. Sweet Lou. Hello, Mr. ID Jester. How are you doing? Lou Whitaker doubled his first chance. 1-8, and it's a 1-6 single. That's a 17, though, so he's going to line it to McLemore at second base. 1 down. And we're roughly about a month away from the NBC Game of the Week to start, and that's going to be in the 1978 season using season ticket baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be every Saturday afternoon, roughly around noon, give or take, half hour one way or the other. But hopefully sometime around noon on Saturdays. NBC Game of the Week 1978 season ticket baseball. Here's Alan Trammell. 2-5, and that's going to be a walk. First base on balls issued by either pitcher. Trammell can get the lead on a 5, and if he gets it, of course, Sutton is a -1, but still pretty good. That would be a 1-16, so he's going to try for it. He needs a 5. The only way he gets the lead is a 5. And he got the 5. How do you like that? So Alan Trammell is going to be looking to get a steal. He's got the lead, so now he has to go by rule. When you get the lead, he's already stolen 2 bases. This would be stolen base number 4 if he gets it. I'm sorry, number 3 if he gets it. Or did I say number 4? Got confused there for a second. Let me double check his numbers. He's got 2 stolen bases. This would be number 3. All right. It's right the first time. So look at the numbers. 1-19 being held as a 17, -1's a 16. 1-16, and he'll steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Trammell. His 3rd of the season. He gets himself into scoring position for Darrell Evans. Also takes away the double play. Trammell will not be held at second base, however. Here's Evans. 5-8, and that's a line out to short. Snagged by Schofield, and scrambling back to the bag is Trammell to not get doubled off. So it's going to come down to Larry Herndon in a clutch situation. Larry Herndon in the clutch is neutral. He has no effect. No positive nor negatives in the clutch, at least against righties. Now against lefties, he's got some anti-clutch, but against righties, he's completely neutral. 2-6, and he neutrally strikes out right there to end the inning. Whoops, wrong spot. Wrong spot. Let's clean that up. All right, so that's going to end the inning as Sutton puts the strikeout on Herndon. Leaves Trammell stranded at second. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0 Tigers. Petry back out, still enjoying a 1-0 lead. Hello, Doug. Good to see you. Here's Devon White, 5-7, switch hitter batting left as a ground ball. Second base X, that's Whitaker. He's a 2-E20. 2-9, he'll get to it. E20 is the question. Second baseman, E20, he's got to avoid 3, 13, 18, and 17. Those are the numbers that can get him. And he's good to go on that one. Good play for Sweet Lou. He makes the play, and that'll bring up Jack Howell. For any Boston fans out there, the next game in this replay will be from Seattle. It'll be the Boston Red Sox taking on the Seattle Mariners. That will be the next game in the replay. It'll be Mike Moore for the Mariners against junk baller Al Nipper for the Red Sox. 5-10, and that's going to be a ballpark single check. It's a 1-5. That's an 11. So we keep the original fly to left for out number 2. That's to minimize the number of lineouts to second and short, which happen way too often. So when it doesn't affect base running, I keep the original result on failed ballpark checks. Now, if doing that affects somebody on the base pass, then I'll revert back to what the rule says. So otherwise, I'm going to keep the original roll. All right, here's the Sensei. 110, and that is a ground ball to short. That's going to end the inning. Trammell takes care of him. 3 up, 3 down. Petry's on a roll. We go to the 5th, still 1-0. And this is the fatigue inning for both pitchers. They both have 5 as their fatigue number. So we'll keep an eye on that. I agree with you, Utah Mike. Strat-Max does look like trash, which is why I never got into it and never felt like doing anything with Strat. Strat Computer is trash too. I only use it to keep stats. I wouldn't just sit there and play a game on it. To me, it's trash. The only good computer game out there for baseball to me is Action PC. Maybe Out of the Park might be there too, but Digital Diamonds that's only good for keeping the score. I wouldn't play a game on that either. That's just me. All right, so here is Matt Noakes against Sutton. But to each their own. That's why I say play the game you want to play the way you want to play it. 5-7, it's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. At least not yet. Strikeout for Sutton. Here's Bergman. That's a 3-7, and that's going to be a ground ball to second. 2 down. And that'll bring up Brookins. 6-9, and that's going to be a 1-4 single. That's a 15 though, so he lines to short. And Sutton gets through the 5th with full endurance, so he will be back for the 6th, no question. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1-0. All right, here is Darryl Miller. Flew to center his first chance. 4-6, and that's going to be a leadoff walk against Petry. That's the first ding against his point of weakness, so we'll keep an eye on that. That will bring up Miller, of course, will not be held. And that brings up Schofield. He is an A bunter. First, we'll check for a wild pitch. Nothing happened. They're gonna have Schofield bunt. Detroit senses it and has the corners in, so it becomes a B bunter. We'll see where the bunt's going. It's a 2. So that means the bunt on a 2 sends it back to the pitcher. He's a B bunter, so he basically needs a 9 or less. 6 is questionable, but definitely 3 through 9 without that 6 is a good one. That's a 4. It is a good sacrifice. Actually, it says speed. So not only is it a good sacrifice, he could actually beat this out. Speed says roll the 20-sided die. If it falls within the running range, it's a single. So Schofield's running range of 15. If we get a 1-15, he actually beats this out for a single, which he does. So it's going to be a bunt single. He was actually trying to sacrifice, but the bunt was so good, he beat it out. How about that? So that brings up Gary Pettis, who is not a very good bunter. And they'll just have him swing away. 6-9, that is a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's only given up 2 base runners, not 3, so he's not tired yet. And so the strikeout is a good one. And that will take us to Mark McLemore. McLemore struck out his first chance. He's a good bunter, but there's already 1 out, so it's kind of pointless to bunt at that point. 2, chance for balk or pass ball. Looking at a pass ball rating on Noakes of 3. No pass ball. Here's McLemore. 2-6, and that's a walk. And now I do believe Mr. Petry is tired. And the Strat computer confirms it. So Petry is tired. So the bullpen for the Tigers is active. And let's look at who they've got down there. I believe Thurman and Snell were used in the previous game. So looks like, from what I'm seeing, we have Eric King loosening in the bullpen for the Tigers. Eric King. But Petry's going to try to get through the inning if possible. There is one out with the bases loaded. Infield back for the double play against Brian Downing. Petry trying to avoid the dots now because they would turn to base hits. It's a 6-7, and that's a walk. That's even worse. That's going to bring the run home. Tie the score at a run apiece. And for Petry, that's the third walk of the inning, so it looks like he might be just fading away here. Joyner is your scheduled hitter. You'd love to have Thurman, but I believe Thurman pitched a couple innings in the previous game and might be tired. Let's see. No, they say he's not tired, but he's definitely overused. Definitely got some overusage. Now, King has an interesting note on his name here. There's a pound sign by his name. I don't know if that means he's going to start coming up or what that means. I guess I could go to Retro Sheet real quick and figure out when the next start is for him to make sure he doesn't start the next game. It's one of those things you got to make sure you don't do is start a reliever or put a pitcher in for relief when he starts the next game. That kind of throws everything out of whack. So let me look at the Tigers games coming up and see who their starting pitchers are. All right, after this game, it'll be Jack Morris, and then after that, it'll be Terrell, so he's okay there. And then it's Tanana, so I don't see him being in relief anytime soon, or being a starter anytime soon, so I think he's safe to put it in there. So, but do they go with Thurman for one batter just to get Joyner? But they've got other left-handers too, so I think they're just going to make the move for the bullpen and hope for the best, as they're going to bring in Eric King. So Eric King will come on for Petry, as Petry seems to have run out of gas. Can't close the book on Petry, obviously. He did go 4 1/3. But let's get the numbers on King. King on the replay is 1-1 with 2 saves, a 2.30 earned run average. 16 innings pitched, 13 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. He had 9 saves real world. So Joyner is up with the bases loaded, 1 out. Score is tied at 1-1. Infield playing back for the double play to try to get out of the inning on a double play. And Joyner has quite a few ground ball A's on his card. That's a 1-6. He's going to strike out. So Eric King gets the big strikeout. Striking out Joyner. 2 down, and it's all up to Devon White. He can get out of it by getting Devon White. So all he's got to do is get Devon White, and he will get out of the inning. It's a clutch situation for Devon White. He is anti-clutch on a 2-8 and a 2-11. So he's got 2 areas there of anti-clutch. King trying to get out of the inning and keep the score tied. 6-5, switch hitter batting left is another strikeout. So King comes in and strikes out both batters he faces and quells that rally and keeps the score tied. And it's going to take Petry off the hook now. He cannot lose it. He has a no decision all the way. So no decision for Petry. And we can get the final numbers on Petry now, too, since the inning is over. He didn't give up any more runs. He did give up 1 run, which was earned. He's only given up 2 hits. The double here and the single here, it's the only 2 hits he's given up. He did walk 3. They were all in the 5th inning, and that, of course, led to the run. And he struck out, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 4 strikeouts. So that's the line on Petry with a no decision. So we start at the top of the 6th. Sutton has full endurance. And he'll be facing the top of the order, Pat Sheridan. And again, the Tigers keep the score tied thanks to the brilliant managing that was just on display that you won't find on that other channel. So if you want the best managing, come here. If you want cookie cutter managing, go to the other channel. All right, here's Sheridan. Oh, we got hop and dice. Try again. 2-2 for Sheridan. And that's a low max. I'm sorry, 2-2 over here, fly to center. 1-2 would have been a low max. This one's just a fly to center, and Devon White, or rather Gary Pettis, puts it away as he waves off White in right center and puts it away. Here's Billy Bean. 3-10 for Bean is another fly ball to center. So Gary Pettis getting a workout in center field. Sutton keeping full endurance still. Here's Whitaker. He's doubled and lined to second. 6-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. That's Joyner. Joyner is a 1, so you know he's going to get to it. It's an E11. So on the E11, as a first baseman, E11, 6, 8, 15, 3, and 18. So 3 and 18 don't come up very often, so I look at the middle numbers to be more proficient. So he really has to avoid 6, 8, 15. 6, 8, 15 to me are the ones he's really got to avoid. And he does. So he will flip it to Sutton covering, and that's going to end the inning. And Sutton continues to keep full endurance through 6 innings. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 1. And Mr. King coming back out. He's faced 2 batters, struck them both out. So see if he can keep it going. Jack Howell, your batter. Howell 0 for 2. 4-4, and that is a catcher X. That's going to be Noakes. He's a 4. 4 and a 17 for a catcher. 4 and a 17 for a catcher is a pop out. Let's see if there's an error. Noakes is an E1. The only way he makes an error is on a 17. So if we don't get a 17, it'll be a pop out. And that's exactly what we got. So Howell pops it up to Noakes, 1 away. And we venture on to Doug DeSensei, 1 for 2 with a double. 6-6 right-handed, and that is a split chance. 1-3 is a single, 4-20 lines to short. That's a 19. So again, to avoid so many liners to short, I'm going to keep the fly out to center because it has no effect on the game. Nobody's on base to affect it. Had there been a run on third, I obviously would not have used that because that would have been a sac fly and would have reverted back to this. But when the bases are empty, I try to do as much as I can to avoid the lineouts to short in second because they just happen way too often. And I don't want a shortstop having 400 putouts in the season. So here's Miller. 2-4. And it's ground ball to short. So that's going to do it. King is not giving up anything either. He's retired all 5 he's faced. And much better pitching than what we got last night, that's for sure. We go to the 7th. We're tied at 1. And Sutton still going strong. Nothing against his point of weakness. He'll be facing Trammell, Evans, and Herndon. Trammell, Evans, and Herndon. .611. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Schofield. He is a 2E12. 2 and a 14, he'll get to it. E12 at short. Shortstop E12, you're looking at 15, 3, and 18. That's pretty much about it. So pretty much just 15. 6, good play. One away. Sutton is on a roll. Only mistake pitch was to Sheridan. Here is Darrell Evans. 6-3, and that's a ground ball right back to Sutton. He's an E0, so he's not going to bobble it. He's a 4, though, so we check his range with a 4, but a 4 and a 14 should be sufficient. 4 and a 14 is a G2, so that's definitely sufficient. And he will make the play. 2 down for Herndon. We are in the 7th inning, so pinch hitting is now available if either manager chooses to do so. Right now, Sparky going with the set lineup. 1-6 is a ground ball to third. To Sensei is there, and the inning's over. So how about that? Sutton continues to keep full endurance right here into the 7th inning stretch. So 7th inning stretch is upon us, and we are tied at a run apiece. And unlike that other channel, I will not be taking a 5-minute break at the 7th inning stretch, because we have full endurance ourselves. And we don't have any dots on us. We're full strength. We're keeping it going. Go, go, go. All right, here's Dick Schofield. It's a 6-4, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-12, that's a 15. So it'll just be a deep fly to left for Schofield. Would have been a home run, but because he did have normal power, but ballpark didn't agree. 12, and that's a 15. So the fly to left. And King breathes a sigh of relief. Here's Gary Pettis. 4-12, and that is a fly ball to right. Hauled in by Sheridan, 2 down. And now it's a battle of wills between King and Sutton. Here's McLemore. 111 for McLemore is a ground ball to first. And easy play there for Bergman. Steps on the bag. We go to the 8th. It is still a 1-1 tie. Sutton back out, and he has full endurance still. He has actually retired 11 in a row as Sutton. 11 in a row. And now that we're on this side of the score sheet, we'll move the cards over here. It'll be Noakes. Bergman, and Brookins, bottom of the order, against Sutton. 4-5, and that's a pop out to second base. Easy play for McLemore. 1 down for Dave Bergman. 5-12, that's a ballpark blast. 1-12, but that's an 18. So just a deep fly to right field is all they're going to get. Actually, it should be up here, shouldn't it? That's what I get for covering up where I am on the old score sheet there. And unlike the other channel, you can actually see my score sheet. So 2 down. The other channel goes for sizzle. I go for steak. All right, here is Brookins. 3-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. Sutton continues with full endurance. Well, now it says he's tired. So I guess when he gets to the 8th inning, you get tired. Computer is telling me he's tired. So we'll have to wait and see on that. King is not tired, that's for sure. He has fatigue of inning relief of 3, and he's gone 2 2/3, so he's still good to go. Yes, some of us, that other channel's playing checkers, I'm playing chess. I can't help it. All right, here's Brian Downing. 5-8, and that's going to be a single to right field for Downing. That is the first hit off of King. King had retired 8 in a row up to that point. But Downing gets the leadoff single. Question is, do you run for Downing? Because now we're in a spot where 1 run can win you the ball game. The only problem with the Angels is they've got a very limited bench. They only have these 3 guys on the bench. They have Ryle, Rupert Jones, and Polidor, and none of them are very fast. The fastest one is Rupert Jones of 13. You could bring him in, but you're not really gaining that much, and you'd be taking Downing's bat out of the lineup for extra innings if it goes there. So they will keep Downing in the game. He will not be held, obviously. And that'll bring up Joyner. He is an A bunter. You don't think of Joyner doing much bunting, but I guess this situation pretty much calls for it. So the Tigers are not expecting it. Actually, they are. No, because of the situation, they do creep in on the corners. So we'll see if King does anything. Nothing on the wild pitch chance. So he's going to bunt it. It's a 1. So a bunt with a 1 is going to go to the pitcher. So it's going to get bunted back to King. He's a B bunter again, so basically just wants to get below a 9. And that is a 9. So he's going to hit a good sacrifice. So it's a good sacrifice back to the pitcher. It's going to go 1-4. And Joyner gets the job done. Don't think of him doing a lot of sacrifice bunting, but he just did it right there. And it was very effective. So that's going to put the runner in scoring position with 1 out. And now with him in scoring position, those extra 2 numbers might be worthwhile making that pinch running move. So we are going to make the move. Rupert Jones is going to come in and pinch run for Downing, stay in the game to play DH, but those extra 2 numbers on his run rating could be the difference between scoring and not scoring on a single. So Rupert Jones will come in and pinch run here in the 8th and stay in and DH the rest of the game. He's a 13. He's no threat to steal, obviously, because he's already on second base, but he is a 13, and a 13 can make the difference. If you get a base hit, those extra 2 numbers can be the difference between being safe and being out. So Rupert Jones will come in for the old man Downing. He'll be the pinch runner. And Devon White, your batter, he's 0 for 3. Jones not being held at second base. 5-7 switch hitter batting left is a ground ball shortstop X. Since he was not being held, shortstop Trammell keeps his 1 rating. So we know he's going to get to it, but we have to see if it's a C or whatever. Ground ball 2, 3, or whatever. So 113 is a G1, which means the runner has to hold. Trammell, his error rating on Trammell is an E21. So we come over here to E21. He's got to avoid 6, 15, and 17, which he does. So Trammell makes the play, freezes Jones at second base. And now it's going to be all up to Jack Howell. Howell in the clutch loses a single on 2-7. That's the only clutch result he has. Nothing on the havoc. Here's Jack Howell. 5-6 left-handed struck him. I'm sorry, 5-6 over here struck him out. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. So the inning's over. We go to the 9th. And Rupert Jones will stay in the game to play DH. So we go to the 9th, and we'll get a new pitcher for the Angels, as they're saying Sutton is tired. And he did give it the home run to Sheridan. They don't want that happening again. So they will go to the bullpen. But we'll get the numbers on Sutton and his wonderful performance. Hall of Famer indeed. He's going to go 8 innings and pitch a 2-hitter. He gave up a double to Whitaker in the first and a home run to Sheridan in the third, and that was it. 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. Now the question is who's going to come in and pitch for the Angels? And it appears as though it will be, let's make sure we don't bring in somebody that's been overused. See who is tired and who's not. So the most rested lefty they have is Gary Lucas. And that's who they're going to bring on, Gary Lucas. Lucas on the replay. 0-0 with 2 saves and a 409 earned run average. 11 innings pitched, 9 hits, 5 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Gary Lucas. It's a 0 hold. So it's going to be a -2 for the pitcher-catcher hold. Now the question is, do the Tigers counter with a pinch hitter? Sheridan is in right field, but they do have some righties off the bench that they could go to. Terry Harper is one of them, but he's not a very good hitter. Neither is Darnell Coles. Mike Heath, decent hitter, but a terrible fielder. But they're going to go with this guy, Chet Lemon. And Lemon will stay in the game to play center field. They'll move Bean to right. Actually, they'll probably pinch hit for Bean. So take that back. We're going to have Lemon hit for Bean. We're going to have Heath hit for Sheridan. So double pinch hitting action here in the 9th. It's going to end up being Heath and Lemon, first 2 pinch hitters. So Mike Heath will lead off and pinch hit for Sheridan here in the 9th and take over to play right field in the 9th. Lemon will pinch hit and stay in the game to play center field in the 9th. So we got Heath and Lemon, first 2 pinch hitters, as Sparky is going to his right-handers to counter this Gary Lucas move. So first up is Heath. And on the replay, Heath is hitting a .179, but in real world he hit .281. He's a .179, no homers and a run driven in. Lucas to Heath. Start the top of the 9th, tied at 1. It's a 3-8 for Heath, and that's a single. Single for Heath. Now, he doesn't run well either. Let's see if they've got a pinch runner they might want to use. Let's take a look here. Terry Harper actually is going to pinch run, and he'll stay in the game to play right field. So it won't be Heath in right field. It will be Terry Harper in right field. So Harper pinch running in the 9th and right field in the 9th. So Terry Harper, not a threat to run, but he is a 14, and he's a better defender at a 2. So Harper will pinch run for Heath. But Heath got the base hit, did his job, got the base hit. And now Bean, of course, being called back for Chet Lemon. Lemon on the replay is hitting 164, although he hit 277 in real world, but he's struggling. 164, no homers, 5 driven in. Nothing on the havoc. Infield looking for the double play. 6-2, and that's a ground ball first base C. It's going to end up being like a sacrifice, as that will move the runner up as Joyner has to flip to Lucas covering. But Harper will take second base. He gets into scoring position with 1 out for Lou Whitaker. All right, here is Whitaker. Decent against lefties, not bad. Lucas trying to get out of it. 3-2. It's a foul out to the catcher plus an injury. So it looks like we might have Lou Whitaker missing the rest of this game. He fouls it out to Miller, but now a 1-4 to stay in the game. 5 or higher, he's out of here. He stays in the game. Whitaker toughs it out. He will stay in the game. And now Alan Trammell is your batter, but there's no way in hell they're going to pitch to Alan Trammell. With that first base open, that's an intentional walk written all over it. Trammell will get the intentional pass, And they'll go lefty-lefty with Darrell Evans. Gene Malk says, I'm not pitching to Alan Trammell. No way, no how. That's a 6-7, and that is a ground ball second base X. That is McLemore, and McLemore is a 2E22. 2E22. 220, he'll get to it. E22, he has to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And he does. It's actually a 5. That's a rare play. So the 20 was a G1. So it's a G1 rare play, which I don't think is very rare. If there's a runner on first, the batter hits a ground ball to the fielder who starts a double play. The runner on first breaks up the double play, but the umpire rules. So it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be a ground out because it's already 2 outs. There's no double play to worry about. And so that's a ground ball to McLemore. And since it was start of a double play, according to the rare play, we're going to say it's a fielder's choice, 4-6. They get the out at second base, and the inning is over. Lucas pitches out of it. So we go to the bottom of the ninth, and the new center fielder for Detroit will be Chet Lemon, and the new right fielder will be Terry Harper. King still in there. He has gone 3 2/3, so we'll see if they really want to keep him in there this long. The computer says he is not tired yet. So let's see if they want to try to do anything with that. Computer says he's not tired, then I think you kind of have to stick with him. My opinion. Got right-handers coming up to Sensei, Miller, and Schofield. Bottom of the ninth, tied at 1. So King will stay out there. Computer says he's not tired, so we'll go with it. Here's to Sensei. And to Sensei is 1 for 3 with a double. 6-8. That's a 118 single. That's going to be a base hit for Mr. DeSensei. Now, do they have anybody that can pinch run for him? Because this run is vital. You need that speed. You need some speed. There's a need for speed. But again, they only have the only other bench player they have remaining is Mark Ryle. And he's slow as molasses, plus he doesn't play third. So DeSensei is stuck there. They will have to stick with him. They don't have another catcher on the roster, so Miller is going to have to stay in there as well. And he's not a good bunter, so they will just have him swing away. 1 chance for a wild pitch for Mr. King. And his wild pitch rating is a 9. But no wild pitch is blocked by Matt Noakes. 6-8, and that's the same roll we just had. 1 to 18 is a single, so it's a back-to-back singles to start. Back-to-back singles to start the bottom of the ninth. And coming up is Mr. Schofield, who is an excellent bunter, an A bunter, so he will bunt. Of course, Tigers are expecting it, makes him a B bunter, but that's the play. Got to get that runner in scoring position. He's going to bunt it to number 5, which on here, number 5 is the first baseman, so it's bunted to Bergman. And again, basically needs a 9 or less. And he gets an 8, which is just fine. It's a good sacrifice. So the sacrifice will go 3-4 as Bergman throws to Whitaker covering. It's going to put runners at second and third with only 1 out. Winning run is 90 feet away. And we'll see what Sparky wants to do with Gary Pettis. On deck is McLemore. Pettis is 0 for 3, though. He's only a 208 hitter. And if you bring in Ryle to pinch hit, they'll just intentionally walk him, so you would just be wasting Gary Pettis' defense. So you're going to have to just keep Pettis in there. Infield is in. Outfield is in. Everybody's in. I'm in. Sparky's in. Everybody's in. Here we go. King. That's a 1. Could be a walk-off wild pitch. It's a 1-9. And it is with a 9. Walk-off wild pitch. You don't see that happen on many other channels right there. That's a walk-off wild pitch. He's a 1-9 wild pitch rating. That is a 9. It's a wild pitch walk-off. And the Angels beat the Tigers by the score of 2-1. You saw it here, live and in person. Walk-off wild pitch ends the ball game. Tough luck loss for the Tigers, especially for Eric King, who pitched so well in relief. But somebody had to lose. It was a well-pitched game on both sides, but somebody had to lose. Lucas in relief actually gets the win. Despite Sutton pitching so well, it was Lucas getting the win. He goes to 1-0. Pitched 1 inning, gave up a hit, no runs, a walk, and no strikeouts. Poor Eric King takes the loss. He drops to 1-2, but pitched very well. His ERA is 2.29. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits and a run, no walks and 3 strikeouts. So he certainly deserved a better fate. 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for California. 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Tigers. Angels left on 7, Tigers left on 4. Lucas the winner, King the loser. Angels improved to 10-12. Tigers dropped to 8-12. Yes, as they say, Tiger fans barf. And again, Tigers struggled in real world in the beginning of the season because they were missing Kirk Gibson. They were missing Willie Hernandez. They missed a good part of the season with Alan Trammell. So this is not unexpected. I mean, this is pretty much typical for what they had. In fact, as I go to the standings, their record is now 8-12, and that's exactly where they were in real world. They were 8-12 after 20 games in real world. So they're exactly where they're supposed to be. California was 10-12 in the replay. They were 12-10 in real world. So they're not that far off on the replay. So, and again, it's only April. We're still in the very tail end of April. So loads of time for things to happen. Players will be coming and going and getting hot and getting cold. So all sorts of things can be happening there. So I do appreciate everyone spending part of your Thursday evening with me. Fortunately, it was a much closer game than that debacle we had last night, that 17-9 debacle in Texas. This was a much more classy 2-1 pitchers duel game that I like, where you feel like you can really manage your way into the game. So next game in the replay, and I don't know when it'll be played. It might not be played till Saturday. I don't know, because I really want to play the Mets and Reds, get that second game out of the way in History Maker Baseball. Probably do that tomorrow. So probably on Saturday, we're looking at the next game in the Strat replay, which is Boston at Seattle. It'll be Al Nipper against Mike Moore. So again, thank you all for tuning in and putting up with my antics, as I was just kind of feeling my oats in this game, just kind of in a certain mood today. So I had a little fun at certain people's expenses, but it was all in good fun. Nothing mean-spirited about it, just all in fun. So that's going to do it from here. Unfortunately, Tabby is unhappy that the Tigers lost, but she's also a little bit disinterested because she just hasn't felt the need to come back up here in a while. So that's where we stand. And like I said, next video on the channel will most likely be the Mets and the Reds. I don't know if I'm going to do it live or record it. I was probably going to record it up, to be honest with you. Probably end up recording that one and uploading it, but I'm not sure. I could do it live. I'm not sure. I could come back with Boston, Seattle tomorrow night, and then do the Mets and Reds live. I don't know. It's up to how I'm feeling and what's going on. I do have to take my car in Saturday morning for an oil change, so that's going to take up some of my time. Hopefully not a whole lot, but it's just something that is going to be out of the ordinary schedule. But we'll wait and see how that plays out. So again, thank you all for spending part of your evening with me. Again, the final score, California 2, Detroit 1. They win it on a walk-off wild pitch thrown by Eric King that Matt Noakes could not stop and get in front of. And scoring the winning run was Doug DeSensei. So that's going to do it from here. Until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.